Monday, the Buddy Martin Show. I am Buddy Martin. Glad to be with you today. Stuff happening all over the Gator football program. We'll talk about that tonight with our crew, including the QB himself, the host of his own program. Doesn't need a slum with us. Shane Matthews, part of the Matthews, Monday through Friday. And also we'll be getting Steve Russell, a name you remember quite well. Steve will be joining us today to talk a little bit about what he's seen from his perspective. Keep hearing rumors about him returning to the air one of these days. We'll see if that's true. And then Franz, who's all over the place with football, basketball, football practice. If they're underway, we have lots of stories about it on Gator Bait. I know you've heard a lot about it. I'm going to try to pick and choose while we talk about it. Today, identify some players that you might like. Aside from the obvious, we know we get it. Number 2 is be obviously 1 and 13, etc. How about some players on the edge, not meaning the edge, although it could be, that you play on the defensive side of the ball, who are going to make a big difference on this team, are going to have an impact on it? Well, all that's coming your way tonight on the program with Shane Matthews, Franz Beard, and Steve Russell. Stay tuned to the Buddy Martin Show, Monday night.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Evening. Welcome to the program. All summer long, we talk about what's going to be. And now they have, as they say, spotted the ball and practiced at least. They went through the motions a little bit, and they had some kind of get-together on Saturday. The media got to see about 10 minutes of it and a few of the little Gators. What took place after that, we do not know, but that's a little bit. We'll take what we can get, and we'll talk some ball. What I found very interesting after being at Billy's press conference last week, listening and watching all weekend, and then hearing Billy's press conference today, is these new names that are emerging. Some of them I wasn't very familiar with. And tonight on the program, we'll talk about those. And our new writer, Allen Barney, has a story online talking about 3 of them. You'd be surprised the names that are surfacing that are going to make a difference. And a few weeks ago, I told Shane Matthews I was going to the press conference and said, what names should I ask about, or what should I ask about? He said, ask him about 3 players on defense who might make a difference. I never got a chance to do that, Shane. I apologize. I got sidetracked, but I did get 2 questions in for a change, which was nice. I like the way things are happening up there with our sports information director. So how are you, Shane?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Okay, well, we're in August. Here we go now, and won't be long for your weekends. Will be not on the golf course, and I don't know how familiar. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, it depends on what time the game starts, but
I know it's true.
Night games, I still play. In the morning.
Yeah. Why not? Coach Spurrier taught you well. By the way, again, great to see you at the event for Tony Barnhart. We had a nice evening. You had some nice conversations with your guys, and that was an elite group of people in that room that night. And I know a lot of people got mad that I didn't invite them. There's only one problem. I wasn't the person inviting. I was just MC, But it was nice evening, relaxed, and I think even the HBC enjoyed himself some there in his restaurant, didn't he?
I think it was. It was a good night for sure.
Yeah, you did well in your little introduction that you had there. So, All right, so if I said, give me a name, this is not a contest. Give me a name of someone you like a lot on this football team that maybe some people really haven't heard about, or heard much about. Can you come up with one?
I haven't been to any practices, buddy, yet. I'm waiting until they get into pads because shorts does nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't come up with one right off the top of my head.
All right. Well, we're going to learn this together. And we did this today, and our new writer, who's really good, you'll enjoy reading him, Allen Barney, also wrote something tonight about it. And that list of freaks that the writer puts out every year, 100 of them, or like guys that were just unbelievable in the weight room, whatever. And Bruce Feldman has that list, and there are 2 Gators on it, not real high, but on it. Don't get those freaks very often from Florida. Tell you who those are. And first and foremost, today, Billy mentioned some names that some people don't know much about. I mean, we don't. I was giving you the name of, Katie Daniels. Obviously.
Oh, yeah. I've been on him since he got here as a freshman.
Yeah, no, I know you, and he has quite a story to tell, and he's obvious. But there are other people who are getting mentioned, and in Allen Barney's story, he talks about it. And one of them maybe you haven't heard so much about. You much about Kamran James?
He had a pretty decent year last year on the D line.
Yeah, they said because I consider him like a starter, although he's not. So, and then I don't know. I know you heard about Woods, obviously. Jayden Woods been getting a rave review.
Is that the kid from Kansas?
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about him.
From Shawnee, Kansas. What have you been hearing about it?
I mean, like I said, I haven't heard a whole lot, but the few people I talk to think he is a unique individual at his age. They expect him to play a lot.
You don't hear the term unicorn mentioned too often by Billy Napier, but he mentioned it today. He said, Jayden Woods is a unicorn, man. They don't make him like that. So I can't wait to see what he does, Jane.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard he's really impressed everyone and has a chance to make a big impact.
Shawnee, Kansas, he made 212 tackles and 18.5 sacks over his high school career. So let's see. Some of those players that we've been hoping Florida might get. So those are a few. It's kind of fun. Discovery's kind of fun, Shane. We talk a lot about it all summer long without knowing there are going to be players popping up from names that we don't even mention because we don't know them, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of good players on this roster that may not see the field this year. I think the depth's there at certain positions, and you can say what you want to say about Billy Napier and his staff and all the analysts and what have you, but they do a tremendous job evaluating players.
They do, don't they? They do, and they stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some guys that got no stars. They're playing for the Gators right now. And the star system is broken, in my opinion. So anyway, that's good. Now, Shane, as we count it down over the next few weeks, although you'll be on the golf course most of the time, in the coming weeks as you prepare for August 30th, I might be home that day, Shane. I'm sorry. There are too many good games out there. Yeah?
I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah.
I've said it multiple times. I wish we were playing at like 9:30 in the morning to get it over with.
Yeah, it's what a day. What a day of games. I mean, has there ever been an opening day like this, Shane?
I mean, there may have been. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I'll probably be watching more of those games in the booth than I am watching our game.
Yeah. I mean, Long Island University. It sounds like, I said in my column, a gerrymandering that went wrong. In politics, when you go in and you change the politics of a place, or you knock out people, or you say only these kind, they favor one party or the other, etc. And they gerrymander. And I mean, it's like Long Island and Brooklyn. I mean, come on.
Is it the worst? Is it the worst opponent to ever come to the Swamp?
No, probably not, but certainly one of the worst. In modern football, yes. In modern football. Now,
I mean, I can't. I was trying to think of this the other day. I can't think of a lower tiered.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say the worst team, but I'm saying the lowest.
Yeah. The least credentials. Yeah.
Whatever of college football to ever come there. Interesting.
Well, that's a great question for us to put out there at night. What are worst games? Don't say Georgia Southern, by the way.
No, but Georgia Southern was a powerhouse of Division II.
I'm just joking,
but I'm saying this is to me, it's ever since I've been a Gator, it's the lowest level opponent we've ever played, I think.
Okay, that's fair. And I don't know exactly how they got that, and I know right now they're glad they did because
I think we were supposed to play FAMU and they backed out or something like that.
That might have been late, but I mean, hey, look, you get what you get, but it's football. They'll be playing. You know what? I looked at prices today for the first time of tickets for Texas, just trying to see. And you said a long time ago, this could be maybe the greatest game ever played here. I think, didn't you say that?
Well, I didn't say that. I said it could be the most hyped and highest price ticket because the Texas Longhorns are coming in.
All right. Well, however you said it, but I get the idea. And so I looked up today on tickets and see what they were going for. And I don't know, they're not good tickets. They're among the worst. But it's like $900 for a pair. If you want to pay that for the game. Would you pay that much to see a game, Shane?
I'd rather watch it on TV.
I was in.
If I wasn't doing the radio, I'd be at home watching it on TV.
Yeah, it's a great Kiwi gig. The most I ever offered was for the national championship game, and when Brendan was out there, and I had a ticket. I don't want to buy him, but he was there and he was helping me, and I had sold some books. And I had a little cash. I get the cash. He said, take this and go buy a ticket. Because I've always heard my life, just show up and go at kickoff and somebody will sell you a ticket for, face value. Well, guess what? They didn't. I gave Brendan $800 and said, if you have to pay it to get in, use it. He couldn't buy a ticket for $800 even at kickoff. Ohio State, Florida.
Which game was this?
Ohio State, Florida. National championship game. And, I understand. Look, I've been to some of the places where the tickets are the hardest to get. Like, there's no tougher ticket than the Masters. It just isn't. Price isn't even a consideration. Anyway, so they got a pretty good card this year. Some decent games. We gone over the lineups. We talked about, how it shakes out. Week 1, week 2. I had someone got in my head that South Florida was in Tampa, but it's not. So they open on Long Island and they go next week to play at home against South Florida. And then it's those next 4 games. We've gone over this a few times. That's crunch time. Those 4 games are killers. And I think they can win one of those, if not 2 of them. I think they're going to beat Texas. I really do. Unless something goes badly wrong. And I think they're going to beat LSU at LSU. One of the 2 of them, at least. Which one do you think?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, buddy. I like I said, I think worst case scenario we have to go 2-2 in that stretch. 3-1 would be ideal. I'm not sure we can win all 4, but I would take 3-1 right now.
Yeah, I would too. There's a lot of different polls coming out today. I think the coaches poll came out today. You know where Florida is ranked? What would you guess?
19.
You're pretty close. It was 17. Yeah. So, and again, these guys don't know that much.
How many SEC teams ranked ahead of us?
I didn't look at that, all that stuff.
I'd say there's probably 6 SEC teams ahead of us.
Probably. probably. But I mean, you see some SEC polls where Florida's 8th or 9th in the SEC polls. So I don't know. And I wrote this over the weekend. What was it Nick Saban said? Don't focus on just the outcome. Remember? He said when you have your your goals and you shoot for them and the result comes out, don't focus just on the outcome. Crazy that a coach like that would say that, but I kind of understand it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gator fans get excited just to be ranked nowadays. I know for a fact when we were playing, we didn't care about the rankings because we knew we had a good football team. Everybody knew we had a good football team, but we should be ranked every year somewhere in the top 20. Win some of these early games in that 4-game stretch, you'll bounce up there top 10 for sure.
What's it like for you when Florida's been down and you talk to your friends around the country and they poke fun at your Gators and that you helped build when you came here in 1990 and won those championships back-to-back MVPs and had started off a great dynasty under Spurrier and then became a laughingstock? How bad does that hurt?
Well, a lot of my buddies that played at other schools, we don't really take jabs at one another because their schools have been down at times as well. And, like I've always said this, and I'm a firm believer, and I hope Billy is one of these guys, but you look at every program in America, when they've won, they've had either 1 or 2 Hall of Fame coaches doing all the winning. I mean, you can look at every program in America, and that's how it is. It was Urban and Coach here, Saban and Bear Bryant at Alabama, Vince Dooley, Kirby at Georgia. I mean, Mark Richt had a pretty good run as well. But it goes on and on and on. I mean,
Saban LSU, but he didn't really do much there. And then you, of all people, the guy who won it.
Yeah, and you look at Ole Miss. It was Johnny Vault and Lane Kiffin. Now,
yeah, Johnny Vault was a stud, man. He won a bunch of SECs, 4 SECs.
You're going to have your ups and downs. It's just how long do you stay down?
Good point. Very good point. And so, well, I feel like there's a little bit of bandwagon going on right now, and people are jumping aboard. We're going to ask our next guest about that, Steve Russell. Steve Russell's been off the air for a while. We miss him. Got to get him back here soon. I'm hoping rumors I'm hearing are true. We'll see. I'll ask him. He's been on both sides of the coin. Look, I'd go back to where 5-5 and going to a bowl was a good year. So I know about mediocrity. And so this team is emerging, I think. I'm hearing, I know you hear glowing reports. I'm hearing people talk about players that are like, when you take a Jaden Baugh and you say he's the strongest man in the history of the program, Shane, according to the metrics, that's big, don't you think?
Yeah, and I've never been one that cared about how much you bench.
No,
because I played with a lot of players throughout my career at all different levels, especially in college, that were the strongest guys and never got played one snap.
Yeah,
you just never know. But that's good for him. I mean,
this guy's already played, so we know he can play.
Right. But, some of these people that get so excited about so-and-so benched this much and squatted that much,
I'm with you.
I could care less about it. How do you play football?
But it is impressive, though, when you talk about a guy, what Jayden Baugh's getting better and better and better. And he is just an amazing player. I've thought so since day one. And I think we'll see about the rest. But there are some other players emerging, too. As I said, Billy mentioned those today. I bet you even see Russell, who hasn't been doing much but lollygagging, fishing in the pond in the back, is just hanging out and probably jogging. What do you think? What do you think he's doing, Shane?
I bet he's been sitting on the couch watching the Mets.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get him and find out. I'm going to tell you about our sponsor, our friends at Meldon Law. I talked to Mr. Meldon from Allen, Portugal the other day on his trip. He's having the trip of a lifetime. And Jeffrey will be back soon. He can't wait to. He's still glowing about the basketball team, about what the great success they had. He's a huge basketball fan. And, of course, he wants you to know he's open for business. If you have a need for law, he's there. Certainly in the area of North Central Florida, Gainesville, Ocala, Williston, and Lake City. And if you need any help, which I have done, I heard from them today, I go to them. If they can't find someone on their staff, they'll find you someone who can handle it for you. He's also 100% Gator all the way, done many things to the university. The only official law firm of the University of Florida, Jeffrey Meldon Law, they won't back down. This guy's not backing down. He's got like some kind of Gator shirt on there, I think it says sports.
It's a College of Journalism shirt.
Oh, I've heard of that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Got to get me one of them. Do they make 3Xs?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening to you.
How you doing,
Mr.
buddy?
Russell.
Tanner, how are you, man?
Hi, how are you?
By the
Steve?
way, I can't. I couldn't watch the Mets.
Oh,
Retired,
my
not
comment?
retired. That's too hard to do. Too hard to do.
Yeah, they're
Up and down.
Didn't we see Walter get a win in the game, the Darlington game?
Yeah, he made his major league debut and pitched 5 2/3 when the Braves called him up. So good for him.
What a shame that game had got so much rain. They had that thing all pimped out, or they're going to get 86,000 or something ridiculous. Only the Savannah Bananas draw that.
Yeah, they're amazing. But
Yeah,
again, good for Waldrop. He was hurt a little bit, and the Braves have not had a good year. So hopefully get some more starts.
very good. I know, Steve, that you I don't know what your plans are in the future, but I hope it's going to be back in the media someday soon. And I know you follow it and you follow what's going on. And just out of curiosity, since you're doing what Shane would like to do, which is nothing, that'd be his idea of a great day.
No, I'd be bored to death. I told Steve you could get bored.
Yeah, and I have sometimes, Shaner. No, I will admit that.
So what comes over the transom to you as you're hearing things like today, Billy mentioned some names that I haven't heard much about before. And there's obviously some players there that are going to be really good players that we haven't heard much about. Out of curiosity, in your corner of the world, what dribs and drabs are you picking up about this?
I'm kind of in Shane's boat, buddy. I'm not saying that when Billy Napier says player X is doing well, or I mean, how many coaches go in their media session and say, he sucks. He's terrible. I mean, coaches are going to play up their players, but I mean, there are certain things you hear about certain players and what they're doing. But while it's nice now, it matters, come September. That's when it really matters. But the fact that Florida's ranked, I think, I think people are seeing that Florida has accumulated talent under Billy now. And the schedule is what it is. But I think this is a possible playoff team. If they can maneuver that tough 4-game stretch and split those, I think a 3-loss Florida team, depending who they lose to and how close the games are, could still be in the playoff. So I think the arrow is really pointing up for this team. But again, you got to stay healthy. Is Lagway going to stay healthy the entire year? All of that, we will see. But it certainly looks like Billy's best team.
Well, I'm always calling BS on the one about is he going to stay healthy, because every quarterback has that question. Every team, Nussmeier, will they stay healthy? I get it. I know that's what's on the table and people are talking about. And I know that the injured quarterback is the story of Florida. But there's so many others. Let me give you a name and see if you've heard of them. And let's not test. I don't know much about these players, but I'm just saying. What about Jayden Woods? You heard about him?
No.
He's getting rave reviews of Florida.
Yes. I know that, but I had not heard of him before the rave reviews. Yes.
No, I haven't either. I mean, Shane got it right. He's from Kansas. Shawnee, he got 212 tackles and 18 sacks in high school. But he is apparently lighting them up to a point where, listen to this, we criticized Billy for not saying anything. He says, Jayden Woods is a unicorn, man. You don't make him like that. I mean, that's pretty strong coming from his coach. When you say,
Yes, but that's the beauty of who you recruit when you see them in camp. But Shane made the point earlier, buddy, and I'm right with him. Camp's wonderful. When you go against your own people, that's wonderful. What do you do on Saturdays against the opposition? That's what counts. But look, it's better to hear great things out of camp than, well, they're not very good, or that guy's not very good. So, I mean, that there's something to be said for that.
But you have been, and hopefully will be again soon, a commentator on this team. Whether they valid, and Shane is too, whether he likes it or not, people look to you for information and most of all, perspective. They want some perspective out of you. And because you have that reputation as being a fine reporter, Shane, it's one of the biggest things ever played football here. How can you not be around it and even absorb it? Some people want to know, say, my gosh, what about these guys? And have you not heard about this guy? And if I can hear about these guys, how come? You know what I'm saying? You expect, I know when you go out, what do people ask you in public, Steve? What do they ask you?
It depends on the season. If it's
football,
baseball,
yeah. Yeah.
But now,
yeah, what do they ask you?
I get football, obviously. Sure.
Like what? What would be a question you would get?
Lagway's number one.
Mm-hmm.
If people have stopped me, is he healthy? Is he okay?
Mm-hmm.
That. Number two, is this the year that Florida gets to the playoff? I think those are the two biggest things over the summer here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asked, and I get it. Shane made the point earlier. It's been a while since Florida's been truly relevant when it comes to the national perspective. And now, at least being preseason ranked, Florida at least is in that conversation. But there's a hell of a lot of SEC teams in that conversation still too.
Well, and I know I asked this to Shane, and he's not human. His heart rate of 3. So I mean, I can't get him to get fired up. But the fact is that he did this. He brought this program into existence. Well, he played in 2 great years, MVP 2 years, and it's got to sting. And this stings for me to see a team get beat up like they've been and have years that they've had. And Shane, as one of the great players, has got to have felt it. And Steve, you see it come and go, and you've seen it, and you felt it, and you've been a part of it. Aren't you a little sick and tired of mediocrity?
Of being what?
Aren't you a little sick and tired of mediocrity?
Oh, mediocrity.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me personally, but I certainly hear it in the post-game show. I certainly hear the fans' frustration when it comes to that. And look, I went to Florida, so obviously, do I want Florida to do well in athletics? Sure I do, because this is whatever good, bad, wrong, right. It is my alma mater. But look, it's our job to report. It's our job to, let folks know what's going on, what we think. And buddy, I will tell you this, going to come back to Sports Scene 2 weeks from today.
What? You make an announcement tonight on that?
Yeah, August 18th.
Wow.
So we'll be doing that. And then Shaner and the ball coach and I will still be doing Inside the Huddle. That's going to be on Tuesdays, and that's going to be at noon this time. So, yeah.
So you're announcing that tonight, or have you already announced it?
No, I mean, I was listening to the station today. I went in and
you heard it on the station,
and I heard a promo on the station. So, I guess they've announced it. So, okay, I can do that now. And I've been asked a lot, why? Look, retirement's good in a lot of ways. You can get up when you want. Do what you want. And doing the podcast, that Shane's been doing a great job with Pod Up.
Yeah.
The thing that I sort of missed about it, I remember the first one that I did, buddy, I was going like, nobody's talking to me. Like, where's reaction? I'm not getting any reaction here.
Yeah.
Because when you do it for so long
and
you're used to that, it wasn't, immediate like that. So podcasts are great. It just took me a while to get to do it. And we're gonna do it sort of year to year, and see what develops after that. But I'm excited to be
That's
coming back.
great.
Excited to be coming back and being alongside Shane and Coach again. And
They can want you because they want you to do some work. They don't want to work. They want somebody to do the work. That's why they got you in there.
well,
So,
work is good though. It's
It
Shane
is.
said it too. You do. I've never been bored. I've always tried to get something to do. But if I wasn't doing a podcast, I'm just going to see how this goes. We'll try it for a year and see what happens after that. But I'm excited to come back.
I know what you mean because I remember when I first started in the business, it was so great when you went to a ball game and you came home and everybody downtown stopped you. What did you say? What happened? And immediately they react to what you wrote. You immediately got the input. As you go up the ladder and you go a little higher, you get less and less, and then you get up to suddenly you get to where nobody even talks to you or recognizes you or cares. You've written your way out of it, whatever. And I know, but you've been a voice that's been familiar for a long time. Shane, I always liked his post-game shows because I know I felt bad for him when he got the drunks on the phone, but it was the only voice they had that could talk, hear, and place in the listing post. You should get a Purple Heart for that, Steve, for sure.
Well,
Steve is Dr. Phil for the Gator Nation.
Yeah, though the pregame show that we did for a long time and the postgame show were I created. We didn't have that, so I'll still be doing that. And there are times it's not easy to do. I mean, let's face it, when there's a lot of frustration, as there has been at times. But Gator fans have a right to express their opinion, good, bad, wrong, or right. That's what we created the show for. That's why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to expect it's not going to be all rosy all the time. And it has not been at times. I can attest to that.
Yeah. We all feel so. You get yours in real time. That's the difference. And you get to see it and hear it and whatever. So anyways, there appears to be a little bit of a tingle in the air, except at Shane's house. Nothing. He's like Mr. Iceberg. Nothing happens. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll go play for the national championship tomorrow. Okay, whatever. I know. But Shane, I've had some great talks on this program, and I understand where he's coming from. This guy doesn't do that, and I dare say he's taking some slings and arrows. I'm gonna tell you what, he is good when he get the bandwagon comes through the town. He knows how to drive one of those suckers. And he drove one all last year in Gator basketball. Franz Beard, good evening to you. Francis, say hello to Steve and to Shane before he has to go get his milk and cookies.
Well, two of the best right there.
Yeah.
I'm in the presence of three all pros.
Is there somebody else here?
Okay. I'm just an old
Yeah.
cowhand from the Rio Grande.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, well, you've written some great basketball stuff, and the book's going to be out this fall, and it'll be fun. To read. I know I've read part of it. So, anyway, we're just having general conversation. There are names today, and Shane and I don't keep up with them as much as others, and Steve hasn't. By the way, there's a big announcement. He's coming back. Steve's coming back. He's going to be back in the radio business. He is. You hear about that?
He's like Coach Berger coming back.
I'm just hearing about it now, and it's about dadgum time.
Yeah.
That retirement stuff, you got to go through. One of the things I have learned is when you work for the state, they have rules on retirement, and you better follow them.
Oh, yeah.
You better follow them.
Yeah.
So I did, and I'm able to do this now. So thanks, Franz. I appreciate that.
That's great. All right, so let me ask you guys, have you seen these, excuse me, Franz, I'll ask you this, and I'll get a reaction from Shane before he gets his last cookie. And that is that the freaks, there's Bruce Feldman does a piece, 100 freaks. Now, Shane doesn't care anything about anybody in a weight room.
Care less how much somebody lifts in the bench.
But there are people who get excited about it. There are. Yeah, but I was going to say, there were two names out of 100. I read all 100 names that got mentioned. There were Gators and the 100 freaks. I'm not sure that just based on stats. Could you guess who they are, Franz?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Okay, go.
I read the piece.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I wasn't in there in the weight room. So we know it's Jayden Baugh, who was one of my favorite players, as you know. And we know also that it's Jaden Woods, who I did not know a lot about. Jaden Woods, and Franz. Shane nailed it. He's from Kansas. Apparently, his shuttle time was 4.28, squatted 5.55, power cleaning 3. I don't know about all that stuff, but apparently, another guy that's getting a lot of talk is Aaron Childs. Can you talk about him, Franz?
Yeah, he's a second-year linebacker. Played a lot as a freshman out of Good Counsel High School, Wheaton, Maryland, which is a D.C. suburb, and he is going to be in that rotation. They got 4 guys in that linebacker rotation that they believe can play with any linebacker in the country, and the starters, Pup Howard, Miles Graham, and then Jaden Robinson out of Lake City, and who's the older guy in the group. He's a junior now, and then Aaron Childs. And Aaron Childs is he's grown into this real beastly guy. He's about 240 now, and he runs like a deer. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He's going to remind a lot of people who see him of a guy who used to be pretty good too, named Brantley. I'm not saying he's Scott Brantley all over again, but he plays like him, as far as that ability to make the lateral movement and get to the ball carrier. He reminds me a lot of Scott in that.
Did I not hear them say the other day that like I say this for Shane. Shane has complained about the front 7 for 3 years. Okay. And did we not hear the other day that of the front 4, they have 7 guys they can play and confidently? You know what they said, France?
Yeah, well, he's got 7 guys on his D line that he loves.
That's what I mean.
And then you got 4 really great linebackers.
That's what I'm trying to get to, is adding up those for front 7 for Shane, which looks like a really good. And they think they've got a really good front 7, Shane.
No, I mean, it has a chance to be one of their better ones they've had in the last 3 or 4 years. I say it all the time on my program. From an offensive guy, when you're preparing for the defense, who is that one guy that you can't let win the football game or disrupt your offense? We haven't had that guy since John Grenard or Dante Fowler, in my opinion. I don't know if one's on this roster. Maybe one is, maybe one's not. Maybe we have a couple. But that's what if you want to have a really good defense, you got to have that one dude that they got to double team, or they have to slide the line to him. They got to do something. And I'm hoping that guy's on this team. We shall see.
Disruptor. I got one. Tyreek Sapp. I think he's going to be a beast. He already is a beast. And he announced he's going for the sack record. And I know it's something, but he's the guy that they're all talking about. His body, 275 pounds of blue steel. He can run. Have you heard about him, Steve? You've heard about him? I mean, have you? No, I don't mean have you heard about him. I know you know who he is. But have you been hearing anything about what he's doing at practice?
Camp, yeah. Look, like I said, I think at this time of the year, there's guys that shine in camp, but he's a somewhat proven commodity. So I look for him to have a pretty nice year. And I'm not trying to downplay, fellas, what guys do in camp. It's important, but Shane says this all the time. What do you do in a game? What do you do when the lights go on? That's but look, to say that there's not been progress made in terms of talent acquisition, there has. They're deeper. Maybe the secondary might be a bit of a question mark as you look at the team, and you never know about injuries either. That's part of it too. But this is as deep. The offensive line is really good, and you've got 2 great running backs. The receiver room looks to be good. So there's a reason they're preseason ranked, fellas, because there's talent here.
Well, they're not ranked that high. That's another thing. I think it's a good thing they're not ranked that high. I think we talked about this, Franz and I did. And Shane, one of the things you kept saying over the past 2 years, they got to have an edge rusher or 2. They've apparently got several really good edge rushers.
Well, that's the disruptor I'm referring to.
Right.
And you know, I like I said, I hope they're there. I hope they disrupt the quarterback, because that's what causes offensive problems. And you know, I think Sapp, Gums, a couple other guys have an opportunity to be those guys, and it could be multiple. So I mean, the team has a chance. I think they're going to be very good on offense. If the defense plays like they did at the end of the year, we get a ball bounces your way. You know, defense was much improved and made plays, made sacks when you needed them, but still gave up a lot of yards, right? I mean, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I mean, Ole Miss and LSU went up and down the field. They just shot themselves in the foot, which we had a lot to do with that. And Coach Spurrier will tell you all the time, to have a special year, you have to be fortunate in some games and get breaks. And hopefully the ball bounces our way this year.
And they deserve a few of those for sure, because they haven't been bouncing their way that well. And we'll see. But I liken it when we talk about these things to a stock market. Anybody can wait until IBM has reached, 200 points over its renewal to say, hey, this is a good buy. When we look at buying stock, we got to project based on what we know. We don't always know a lot. So some of it comes with hunch as well. But looking at this team now, I still sense, I'm not going to use the word great, but what could be, especially if the quarterback, I have to say that, it stays healthy. But all right, so let's talk about ceiling and floor, and I'll let Shane go to sleep. And what we see right now is ceiling and floor. It's time to start guessing. I'll go first. I'm at 9.5 wins for this team. That's where I am at this point in time. And just based on right now, I would take the over on whatever it is. What is it now for Franz? 8, 7, 8, 7.5, whatever.
I think it's 6.5.
Well, I'm all over that. That's just a regular season. Anyway, that's my number, and then ceiling is 9, and I think it could be more, but I'll take 9 right now. And I think if they lose the right 3, they're going to get there. Shane, what do you think?
Well, I'll take 9 wins right now and be happy with it. I'm going to go 8. Again, it all depends on how – I know we ended strong, but that 4-game stretch, 2-2, worst case scenario. If it's not 2-2, it could be rough. 3-1, I'm going to be ecstatic. So I'll just say 8 right now and hope I'm wrong and hope it's way more than that.
Do you think we can believe Brian Kelly and how great they're going to be? I heard the stat today that the most transfer students a national championship team has ever had is 9. And he keeps bragging about his. And he keeps saying he's going to have a great team. I know how Franz feels about this. And we'll get to Steve and his over, under, and floor. What do you think about it, Brian Kelly? Shane?
I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. I mean, he what was it, Grand Valley State or whatever that school was, won at Notre Dame, won at Cincinnati. I'm not a Brian Kelly fan. I think LSU is going to be damn good. I think they're going to be really good on offense. I know we sacked the quarterback. They may have O-line questions. Their skill players are outstanding. Dorian, I think a lot alike. Dorian thinks he picked him to win the national title.
He went over his skis on that.
Yeah, well, he also picked the quarterback that I am in love with to be the SEC and went SEC player of the year to win the Heisman. The kid out of Oklahoma.
Napier.
I think he's Baker Mayfield made all over, but a much better runner. He's a dual threat. He ran for like 900 yards last year. Yeah. But boy, he can throw the hell out of it.
Well, how can you like a team to win a national championship, not like their quarterback?
What's that?
How can you like a team to win a national championship and yet not pick their quarterback?
Well, he likes Nussmeier just like I do.
Yeah, but he likes Napier better, apparently.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, regardless, we don't know who's going to win. But
right.
Back to your. I don't like Brian Kelly, but I think he's got a good football team this year.
Fair enough.
We shall see
All right,
that.
Steve, Florida stealing for these Gators.
I got him at 9. But my perspective is a little bit different. Everybody's talking about that gamut of games. Well, to get 9, you can't lose to Miami, right? You can't lose to them. You can't lose to an Ole Miss. Those are teams that they're now expected to win. But would you be shocked if those two teams beat Florida, given that, they're both ranked 2? So it's not just that 4-game stretch there, but I think Florida's talent level is such, and I'm not sold on Texas. Maybe I'm crazy, okay? But they lost a lot from that team. And I'm not totally sold on Georgia either.
I'm not sold on Georgia.
Because I don't think their defense is as good as it's been. And Shane, I don't know what you think about their quarterback, gutsy kid, but, is he going to light it up throwing the football? I don't see that. So I think Florida has a chance to beat Georgia this year. So given all of that, I think 9 is my number. And I think if it's the right 9, they go to the playoff.
Georgia, I think, is going to have some issues. I think Georgia's going to get back to what you think of Georgia football and try to win games playing defense and running the football.
Yeah.
They don't have star power there like they got a lot of good players. That's not, I probably said that wrong, but they don't have the names that you've heard of in the past.
On defense.
Texas, I see what Steve's point is, but I don't know if I've ever seen a team as fast as Texas was last year in person. I was like, holy cow.
Really?
They were one of the fastest teams I've ever seen. And we know they reloaded. But I know people are waiting to see what Arch can do. I'm a big Arch Manning guy. I think he's going to be very, very good because of Sarkisian. I think he's the best play caller in America. I think he does a really good job with quarterbacks. I don't care that Arch played at Newman. His damn 2 uncles played at Newman, okay? They were pretty good against bad competition in high school. So we'll see. He's very athletic. I think he's a much better runner than people give him credit for. But I'm with you, Steve. I mean, you could have a good stretch of those 4 games, but you still got to beat Ole Miss on the road and Tennessee at home. So every one of them are going to be fun except the first game, okay?
Yes.
Steve, I want to ask, or Franz, we were talking about this earlier. Is Long Island the lowest level football team we've ever played?
If they aren't, they're on the short list. They are actually their CW Post that merged with Long Island University. The CW Post was the Pioneers and Long Island was the Blackbirds. And so somehow or another they became the Sharks. But Gary Wishart, who at one point in time, Steve and Buddy might be old enough to remember him. He was out of CW Post and they predicted he was going to be a number 1 draft pick out of CW Post. Now he's a great agent. He represents a lot of big time players, but I would put them in the 3 lowest. I don't know who's worse, but they'd have to be among the 3 lowest teams that we've ever had here. I mean, the head coach is Ron Cooper, who used to be an assistant here.
Yes, Coach Cooper is he's the head guy. You're right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, Franz, I didn't follow CW Post. I'm sorry.
Well, not a lot of us did, but Gary Wishart was on the front page of Look magazine, and I remember.
That's great. All right, let me just say this before I forget, and I'm gonna let Shane go, and we're gonna finish up. I watched that Georgia Texas SEC championship game, number 1, and I thought the best he can do is 2 field goals and a couple of touchdowns. The great play caller Sarkisian. Where was that magic? It wasn't in that game. And I tell you, I don't care what you say about the kid. A quarterback for Georgia, he can throw the football. He's a tough sucker. He can run the football. I know it's popular to bash him. But, boy, I tell you, I watched him play again. I thought, you know what? He ain't bad. So people dismiss him.
But just remember, people like play callers when the plays work.
Yeah, I know, but they ain't working. So when you got
Well,
to kick field
The
goals,
guy that we all love had some bad play calls every now and then too.
I know that, but you all praise Sarkisian like he's Spurrier. You know,
I
everybody
didn't
says,
say that. I just
no,
said
but I mean, I hear that. I
And
thought,
again, it's my
you guys
opinion.
kicking
I think
field
he's the
goals.
best play caller in college football right now.
Yeah, all right. You keep telling me that, but he
Go
didn't
watch
look
how
like it the other
creative
day.
he is. Go watch how creative.
Well, I'm not
he is.
interested. Okay, I hear what you're saying. This is just my long distance, unprofessional opinion. I don't know much about it, but I know you think he's a really good play caller and good coach. He is not a genius. I'm sorry. I just don't think he is. That's just me. Who you got on the show tomorrow, Shane?
I got you and Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider.
I hope Brian can carry the show.
He will. He'll tell everybody to load up on the Gators, I'm sure.
All right, be sure. Yeah, get some good scoopers for us on the line, will you? So we know which way to go and what's a good play. Shane, thank you as always.
All right, gentlemen. Y'all have a good night. It's time for
Thank
you.
you.
Shane. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just going to say, I didn't kind of left a couple of things out. Franz, I didn't mean to walk on you. Do you have something else you want to finish up?
Well, I don't like LSU. Brian Kelly wins all the games he's supposed to win, but he loses the ones that he needs to win. Typically, did that at Notre Dame. And let's face it, guys. He was at Notre Dame. He had all the resources in the world, and he couldn't win a national championship there. So he goes to LSU, and now you got to play an SEC schedule. He's lost 11 ball games in 3 years, 2 of which he lost 7 with the best quarterback since Joe Burrow. I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on them. They've got 30 transfers on that team, of which 4 of them are going to be on the offensive line. And they say, well, these guys have started places. Yes, you start at Western Walla Walla. Okay, yeah, you started. This is the Southeastern Conference. You know, I mean, it's a pretty good league, top to bottom, when you take it all into consideration.
Yeah,
I'm not sold on Georgia because I don't think Gunnar Stockton. I think Gunnar Stockton got away with coming into a ball game when all of a sudden nobody knew anything about him. Nobody knew how to prepare for him. And you look at what he did in the playoff, and he kind of was pretty average. I think he's going to be pretty average again. LSU, I'm not sold on either. I think Alabama, if they get a quarterback problem situation settled, I think Alabama, I think Texas, and I think the toughest game on Florida's schedule, I might surprise you guys, but I think the toughest game on Florida's schedule is going to be the Aggies at Kyle Field. I think that will be the toughest game Florida plays. And particularly since it's the week after Texas, when you put so much hype into it and everything like this. And Steve, you've seen how many Florida teams in the past get so up for one game, and then the next game it's like crash and burn time.
Let me let Steve go back to his final comments. I've kept him way over, but go ahead and answer that, and I'll get back to Shan's.
I like a lot of what Franz said. 2 things I would differ slightly. I get the point about the transfers. Ole Miss had a bunch of them, and they were pretty good, right? But I get the point. Sometimes it's hard to get that many transfers to fit in and all of a sudden, be successful in 1 year. I'm with you on A&M. That's my sleeper. That's the game, Franz, to me, that nobody's talking about because of Texas, because of Georgia, right? Now, how good is Marcel Reed going to be as the starter now? He certainly was pretty good against Florida, and now he's in the system now, and they've recruited well too. But that's the game that nobody's talking about, and I'm with you. That's going to be a tough game to play. I'm with you.
Good stuff. And by the way, congratulations on the, I won't say new gig, the old new gig. Welcome back to the airways. Looking forward to hearing it. And it's a matter of time. I told you it wouldn't be long. And it's good to have you back, Steve.
Well, buddy, I appreciate you. You know, you've let me come on here, and I appreciate coming on with you and Franz. Good to see you. And
Always
we've
good,
been
Stevie.
doing this a little while. Between us, we're like 750 years old and been covering how many games, right? But it's been fun. So, buddy, I thank you too for that. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Steve. I'll go talk to you again soon. All right,
Okay.
appreciate
All
it.
right, we'll see you. Yep.
Great to see you, Russell. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Francis, we got a couple of minutes here. Take your choice of what you want to talk about. There are a couple of topics out there. One of them is that Kirk Herbstreit's son is now in coaching. I don't know if you want to tackle that or not.
No.
And also, I know you don't want to talk about the Rays. They're playing terrible. It's been a terrible year. So I'll just leave it up to you. Dealer's choice.
Do you know what I really like today? I like that Billy Napier came out there and just deadpanned when he says, you know, you guys were more concerned about DJ Lagway than we were. I mean, that's basically what he said. I'm not going to quote it word for word. It's in my story what he said, but everybody else, particularly in the media, was in widespread panic. I saw the guy throw Saturday. Nothing wrong with his arm. The leg, the way I watched him throw, plant and throw off that leg, throw with his legs, there's not, he's fine, which is what I thought all along. You put it in a boot for one basic reason, because you know how valuable he is, and you just want to you'd rather err on the side of caution than you would, otherwise. Calf muscles, hamstrings, as we all know, can be really, really troublesome if they're not tended to the right way. So I'd rather have somebody go overboard on the treatment than to let it go. So, but, I watched him watched him plant his legs and then throw the ball. The mechanics are better. The ball is coming off of his hand better than it has. He looks really, really good. And he's 6'3", 247 pounds now, and looks, sculpted out there. He's the real deal. And you add the real deal in with some of these players they've got. And buddy, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to say it again. Florida's at the point where they got 44 players, which is what you got to have to win 9 ball games in the SEC. You can win 10 with 44 players. You do better than that, you play for championships, you better have more than 44. You better have closer to 50, 55 players who can play the game. Florida's at that point now where they've got 44. We know about 44. Do we know what's beyond that? And that's going to be the tail of the tape, shall we say, for Florida this year. Do they have those players that go beyond 44?
And Billy started to let some names out there now. I think it's what he's doing now. There are some names of players, newcomers, that are impressing him a lot. He starts calling guys unicorns, first-year players unicorns.
Yeah.
But
the kid is he's this athletic freak.
Yeah.
And with guys like that, you can do stuff with them. And that's the key for it.
Right.
Is that not necessarily that he is going to be dominant at any one place, but he's such a good athlete that you can move him around. He can do things for you.
Yeah.
And
sorry to cut you off, Franz, but we're right on it, on the edge. So, and thank you. Don't forget to read Franz's column tonight on Gator Bay. Good stuff. Love the hat. Love the glasses. And talk to you again in a couple of days, Francis.
Take care,
Appreciate
bro.
it. All right. Just want to tell you folks about our sponsor tonight. Our sponsor is Titan MRI and Imaging. Now, it's 3 locations to serve you. 2 in Gainesville with Park Avenue location, and now at the Millennium Center and 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta. Titan MRI Imaging offers the same great customer service. They accept insurance, or you can go through their convenient self-pay options. They offer MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, ultrasounds, easy scheduling with the possibilities of having night times. If you work and can't get off, they'll do that for you. Larger MRI machines for patient comfort, no ERs, no hospitals. Coming soon to Ocala to better serve the Marion County area. Titan MRI and imaging. Titan MRI, it's your choice. All right, folks, thanks for a good show tonight. For all you folks listening the first time, don't forget to go and like us and share us. And be sure and check us out 5 nights a week. Tomorrow night, Lauren Meadows will be here, and he'll bring you an excellent show. We're back on Wednesday with our usual gang. Thanks to our guest tonight. Thanks to you. And talk at you then. Thanks. Good night.